From tap to pay to your global transfer, fintech like power our world nowadays. Everybody uses fintechs. Most of us don't know what it is, but we use it. Welcome in a new episode of Somebody's Watching. I'm Michael with Marcel, and today we have a really, really special guest, Miss Tuna Brock, that will guide us through the world of fintechs. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very, very much, Marcel. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So like I said, fintech. I use fintech. I actually recently learned about it because, like all of us, I have a banking app. I go to a restaurant and I want to pay my things, do my international payments. And I know Marcel do that a lot. So we wanted to just explain that things and talk also about this such great initiative that is coming from Bank of Namibia. And then for that, we kind of had some relation and made some call and were able to bring our guests. Marcel, want to say something?
No, Tuna, thank you for coming. I think you're the expert now, of course, with the Fintech Youth Programme introduced by Bank of Namibia. Before we get into all of that, I actually just wanted to first, get to know who you are, find out your journey and what led you to, of course, now being I believe your job is the Chief of Innovation Hub Officer, correct?
Correction, I'm the Principal Innovation Hub Officer, but terminology.
Oh.
No, thank you very much. My name is Tuna Brock. I am here representing the Bank of Namibia, specifically the Innovation Hub within the central bank. And prior to joining the bank, I'm coming from the fintech ecosystem itself. I've worked with local Namibian fintech or digital transformation companies. I've worked with our local institutions as we help them embark on their digital transformation journey. So I am coming with that local experience, though also taking note that innovation and digital transformation and technology is advancing at such a rapid pace that you really have to always be learning and on top of things as things emerge.
No, that sounds great. And I do believe now with the initiative that's going on with the Fintech Youth Programme, maybe you can just tell the audience and the listeners out there who should actually try and apply for the program, and then secondly, of course, why is it important that we have more programs like the Innovation Hub and of course like the Fintech Youth Programme that's going on?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so we've got this brand new program. It's something really brand new for us as the central bank. It's called the Fintech Youth Programme that we developed, and we're really going to be piloting it for the first time. And its objective is really to, amongst others, is to catalyze an ecosystem that is conducive for fintechs to emerge, to develop, and to mature. So taking a step back, we at the Innovation Hub, we've got what we call, for formality's sake, it's the Fintech Innovations Regulatory Framework. Okay. And under here, we've got things like our regulatory sandbox. And this is where we wanted to invite and welcome fintechs that are ready to test. So meaning you maybe have some sort of product already, you've thought it through, you've developed to a certain extent. Maybe you even want to launch. But what you're finding is that your idea does not yet fall under existing regulations, meaning there's no licensing category for you. Because remember, technology is moving so fast.
That's true.
So we might try to create categories, and then next thing you know, 6 months later, a year later, there's something new coming out. So how do we manage that pace of technology versus what it is that we do at the central bank? So that's why we had the regulatory sandbox to say, okay, we want to understand you, we want to understand the benefits, we want to understand the risks that you present, and we want to make then informed decisions or evidence-based decisions of how to treat or categorize you. What we were finding was that, not that no one was coming forward, there were a lot of people coming forward. And they were really interested, but we could identify no, your idea does fall under existing regulations, but the help you need is, how do I mature to get to that point that I can be licensed? So what we then had to decide to do was that we need to actually take a step back and go more to a, how shall I say, a grassroots level. Let's meet the fintechs where they are at, as opposed to us sitting here and say, you meet us where we are at. So it's really us trying to meet them there and give them the support that they need. And of course, that's not something we can do on our own.
Yes, definitely.
We want to catalyze an ecosystem where we've got different organizations and people with their expertise, giving them that support, creating a value pipeline, and allowing these fintechs to evolve and reach a point where they can be operating in the market and offering. There are many benefits that they can offer to our Namibians.
True. That's so true. By the way, I know something about fintech. It's quite new to me. I'm mostly evolving in cybersecurity and things. So, and I know some people don't actually know. They use it on day-to-day lives, but they don't know that it's called fintech. They don't even know that actually it's something that it's evolving with the technology. And just like I say, when you go to a shop and you tap to pay, it's basically fintech that you're using. It's financial technology. When you are like having your phone and sending money, is the same thing. And it's such an initiative that I generally appreciate, that you are trying to reach out to the people, go to them and say, okay, we can help you propose your solution, your benefit for a greater audience by like nurturing you to reach that my voice is going reach that level. And it's just so great. And it's just like, now come to my question is, for any entrepreneur or any founders or any creators that want to come up with a solution, to which extent do you feel like that solution is ready to be proposed or tested in the market, in the Namibian market?
All right, there's not a perfect answer to that question. So I can only speak on behalf of us. Either if you're ready to enter the market, it means that you meet certain regulatory requirements, and those are prescribed, and that information is available on the website of the Bank of Namibia. So that, I'm sure you could be a whole episode on its own. Definitely. So it's to say you fall under a licensing category, you meet certain requirements, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You undergo the licensing process, and you are licensed, and you are able to operate. And there's a broad range of requirements that would need to be met, including cybersecurity aspects. You guys are space.
It's needed. I wanted to find out. So the way I understand it is also, let me just give you, I guess, an example. It's like, right now Bank of Namibia is at the top of the mountain, but what you're really trying to do is, of course, come down the mountain and meet the people who are trying to ascend the mountain, right? And with this, I think that's where the Fintech Youth Programme comes into play, because, of course, the youth, I know I'm part of them, we don't know everything, even if we assume we do. And I think a program and an initiative like this is very important. Can you maybe just inform the audience how is the application process? And of course, after the application process, what happens in the program? Maybe you can give them a brief.
All right, thank you. You mentioned now you're part of the youth, but let's define those parameters. I don't want to assume your age, but the age parameter that we are using for this program is between the age of 15 and 34 years old.
Okay.
So who can apply? I've stated the age group. We are targeting Namibians. We're starting off as something new, and as we pilot, we really want to offer the support to our local Namibians, whether you're a citizen or a permanent resident. Then we want, it's open to individuals, or you can be a team of individuals, or perhaps maybe you already registered your business, in which case, please, you're welcome. And lastly, you need to have some sort of innovative fintech idea, But what's really important is that it has context to Namibia. We want you to be solving a problem locally that, sometimes we have an idea or a solution, but then we ask ourselves, what problem are we solving? So that really needs to come through very, very strongly, that you're offering some sort of socio-economic benefit. You're offering perhaps financial inclusion. But it's really that you are helping our Namibians, you're helping our economy. Where can you apply? That would be on the website of the Bank of Namibia, specifically on the webpage of the Innovation Hub. Okay. So it's digital applications. Applications are open until the 15th of August, which is really around the corner at this stage. Okay, and we are in the year 2026, for reference point, in case someone's listening to this episode next year. So 15th of August, 2026. So we do encourage people to don't wait for the due date. Please go visit the website now already and understand what information are you being asked so that you can prepare accordingly. After the 15th of August, we will then undergo an assessment period where the successful participants will be selected and invited. And then we're hoping that, these are really tentative timelines, but we're really pushing hard to uphold them, that by October 2026, the program is actually kicking off. So what's actually happening in the program? We will be offering, together with collaborative partners, a wide range of support activities, whether it is activities related to building skills and knowledge. You might need knowledge in developing a solid business plan, knowledge in cybersecurity.
Yes.
What is fintech? Do you understand market research? Have you conducted market research? Do you have an idea? How will your consumers view it?
Exactly.
Are you looking perhaps for partners? Funding. Funding is a huge hurdle that we are hearing, that okay, I have this idea, but I need to keep the lights on, I need to keep running with this, and true. So I need funding. So even for us as Bank of Namibia, we've put forward a small yet significant amount. It will be treated as grant money, and it will go to these fintechs for their respective needs that will help them evolve and develop. There's financial literacy education. There'll be
quite important.
Very, very important. And it's not just financial literacy for a consumer. It's for you wanting to run a business. Okay, I've received money, but how do I manage that money now responsibly in the context of me running a small or large business? Okay. So it's really it's quite broad in terms of what is being on offer, and of course, this is something we could have not done on our own at all. So I'd really like to take the opportunity to mention some of our, all of our collaborative partners that have joined us for this 2026 cohort. That includes, so us as the Bank of Namibia, with our co-regulatory authority being NAMFISA. Then we have as well entities called Basecamp. It's a business incubator. We have Bellatrix Investment Managers. We have CC Hub, which is one of Africa's leading hubs, and they've got an office or team locally.
We know this.
Oh, you know them. Yeah. Great. Then we've got NIPDB, who has come on board, MTC and MTC Maras, as well as Old Mutual. And they're all bringing in their expertise and their infrastructure, etc., to come and help these fintechs, young entrepreneurs, young businesses, young students, to really get the idea off their ground, or perhaps it's already somewhat off the ground and you're looking now to scale. So as I mentioned, we're trying to meet you where you are in your journey.
No, that sounds beautiful.
Actually, you did say something really important. Like, the applications are currently open for 2026 until the 15th of August. But then I know personally, when I was still a student, I had this opportunity to apply, but I'll tell myself, maybe it's only for people in Windhoek. No, it's not only for people in Windhoek. If you're in a rural community outside of Windhoek, in another town, you can still apply. Don't limit yourself to say, no, this is usually for just people that live in Windhoek, because that way is the head office of Bank of Namibia. But no, just go on the website, register yourself, register your group or your company, and just participate in the program. I think it's something that's really give opportunity, because I know many creators, some of the students that I was studying with, they had those idea of how do you call these things? Payments, wallets, to create a different type of way. Maybe not like MTC Marys, or maybe not like e-wallet, something innovative. And then they'll be like, but I don't know where I'll start. And this is an opportunity for them. Don't you think, Marcel? Like, I know you. We were talking about it the other day. We were about to have a coffee, and we were like, shit, we forgot to bring our card and stuff. And we were like, can we make a payment? Fortunately, we use the NFT. So, but that's one, there's some limitation about it in terms of security, but we won't dive too deep into it. It's such, like, personally, I appreciate I will ever apply for it, but fintech is too much thing, and I already have a lot on my end. But definitely, please, guys, just apply for it. It's an opportunity.
100%.
I do think this is a great initiative, because right now we're really struggling with unemployment, and you can't. I always thought to myself, there's a phrase I love, which is God helps those who help themselves. So if you have a great idea, I do think, sign up for the program, learn something new. You never know, maybe your idea is the right idea to change the landscape in Namibia. Anything else you would like to add or ask maybe the two of us?
Yes, I'm just thinking now at the top of my head that, I'm talking about that these fintechs, these entrepreneurs need a broad range of skills and knowledge. And given that you guys are cybersecurity experts, what message or what advice could you give to these young upcoming fintech businesses or entrepreneurs that relates to cybersecurity? Because as we know, fintech involves the use of technology, yes. And technology can be used for both good and unfortunately also for bad. So, we have to be it's a space that needs to be very carefully navigated through, and not just for consumers, but for also those who are offering solutions or businesses or products through fintech. So what advice could you offer our young fintech entrepreneurs?
Well, as we know, cybersecurity is quite broad. If I have to give advice, especially those on the software development side, I will say check your code. Check your code, especially what now that you're working with finances, of course. And then secondly, what I would really say is do what's called a cyber health check. So if you know someone, or if yourself, there is also open source tools out there that can scan your website to see if there's any vulnerabilities or your applications. And with that, you can see, I guess, the loops and the loopholes that people can really target you with. And I think it's important that you do keep cyber in the back of your mind when you are developing these fintech technologies and applications. I know Michael, he would love to delve deeper into this. I'm just giving more of a broader for your developers, because I think that's very important that they also understand.
Yeah, just like you said, it's true. Personally, the advice that I'll give, first of all, apply. That's my first. Why am I saying that? Just like Ms. Tuna said, you'll be exposed to so much knowledge from so much different sectors, so much different companies, and that knowledge will help you build your solution to first be like safe, because it will be secure. And one things I have in my mind when I make a payment is like, I hope they're not taking my money, And because you are exposed to such a things, you will know how to protect. And that is where cybersecurity comes, because it's all about protecting your technology and the users behind your technology. So for any entrepreneur, any creator, any developers, one thing I will say to you, it's always keep in mind that you are not doing it for yourself. You are doing it for the potential users. So find the best way to protect their personal information, their banking information, or anything that transacts through your platform. Because at the end of the day, if your solution is secure or your business is secure, we will have great confidence in using your product. So that is, I think, one of the best advice I can give to each one of them. So, but don't forget to apply it, guys, please.
Exactly. Really empowering yourself with knowledge and skills, I think, is so critical. And it's not just knowledge and skills in, being a software developer. It's the cybersecurity, it's the regulations, it's financial management. The list really goes on in the areas of that you would need to be well equipped to take your idea forward in a very safe manner, because at the end of the day we have to always make sure that the financial services have to be safe. You have to always keep your consumer in mind, because if any risk is introduced, unfortunately that could cripple your idea and business overnight. Unfortunately. And you really, really wouldn't want your hard work to go down the drain because something like cybersecurity was overlooked, something like regulations was overlooked. And while this might seem like, oh my gosh, there's so many things I have to tick these boxes, these are things that you can learn as you go along. Now here through our Fintech Youth Programme, beyond us, there's many resources and other initiatives that are looking to help entrepreneurs. Even if you're not specifically fintech or innovation related, there is support being offered targeting youth. There's support targeting entrepreneurship, employability, financial inclusion. So we are really just trying to orchestrate and target this support specifically to fintech. And I just wanted to also add, because I know you were giving example of fintech, payments related, wallet, etc. What I do want to highlight is that fintech is incredibly broad. And really how we define it is, firstly, it's technology enabled innovation that introduces it can be a business model, it can be a product, it can be an application. And I think, everyone knows that not everyone knows, but there is a broad range of technologies that are out there, and that's increasing. You've got your APIs, you've got artificial intelligence, you've got blockchain, really just to name a few. But the list is quite expansive.
There's so much to talk about.
And then lastly, I want to highlight that your solution or your idea does not have to be restricted to the financial sector. Remember, there's financial services in other sectors. There's financial services in health, in education, in agriculture, oil and gas. And so I really want to encourage that when we think about fintech, that you really push your mind. And it's really broad, and we really don't want to box anyone in it. So there's some sort of use of technology. That technology relates to a financial service, but that financial service can really be in any sector. The use cases that we're seeing all over the world are really diverse and innovative, but what you can really see with these ideas is that someone is trying to address a problem. They found a problem and they said, let's try and fix this. And this is where you get creative in how you are bringing ideas forward. And I think always just think local, think, if you can even relate to the idea, you don't have to, but if you can relate to the problem that you're trying to solve, I think, you'd really be able to come up with something quite solid.
Wow. You heard it here from the expert herself. Thank you again, Tuna Brock. I think this can conclude our episode of Somebody's Watching. Michael, always a pleasure.
Yeah, always. Just one last thing that I want to add. Definitely what you say is so important. Guys, don't limit yourself. Fintech is in everything. Now that you say it so, actually, there's not an aspect of our life where we don't use financial technology.
It really isn't. It really isn't.
So be as creative and innovative as possible. And like Marcel said, it was an episode of Somebody's Watching. We have a really great guest, Ms. Tuna Brock, and Marcel was my co-host like always. Thank you very much for being with us.